He's motherfucking! He's motherfucking! He's a big monkey! He thinks he's awesome!
Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Night Clan. Night Clan is a super cool, like, gothic field card game of area control and secret knowledge, in which each person is going to be combating against each other to try to make sure that they place cards of good value on locations that aren't trapped, that are going to cause those cards of good value to go away once the game is over. It is a fun spin on the idea of, like, everybody has the exact same deck of cards, right? Everybody has the exact same information as far as they know what kind of cards each person has. However, certain cards are played face up and certain cards are played face down, and only the person playing the card is going to know what those cards are. However, once you've played the game, you've kind of figured out different strategies and feels for what people may or may not do. You can start to try to make educated guesses as to what people are doing, and it is up to the players, you know, to kind of hide and you know, be clever, if you will, and try to you know, bluff their way past the other persons and convince them that they are doing something that other than they're actually doing. I mean, that might not make a lot of sense right this instant, but once I show you how the game is played and how the secret knowledge kind of you know, factors in, and also the different cards and their abilities and what have you, it'll be much more apparent. So let me show you how to play Night Clan, and then we'll come back here and I'll tell you what I think. Alright, I'm going to show you how Night Clan is played. Now, I've gone ahead and set this game up for 4 players. There are these 4 decks of cards here in red, green, purple, and blue. Each player will get one of these decks, and these decks all have the same cards and the same number of cards in them. Up here are the 8 different locations in which these cards are going to be placed. This is kind of an area control game, as I said, but it has a little bit of a bluffing and a little bit of secret knowledge thrown in as well. Each one of these cards has a name on it, whether it's the bar or the tower or the library or what have you. But the thing that the only thing as far as the cards matter that out here that's important is the number that's in the top right. That is the number of cards that can be placed in that location before it is locked out and no more cards can be played on there. Also, the number up there could possibly be used as a tiebreaker of sorts, but I'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about the end of the game and how you determine who won. Alright, as I said, each one of these decks has the exact same types of cards in them. The cards will be these cards, a daughter card like so. There'll be a riches card like this. And any card that you see that has this symbol on it right there, that card is played face down. If the card doesn't have that symbol, they're played face up. Alright, so they have these Night Watch cards that has a special power card, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. As I said, that is a riches card. And notice also that this card, the number up in this is the number of points that card is worth. If the card is still being played on one of these locations at the end of the game, you're going to get those points. So daughters are worth 1 point, riches are worth 2 points, and this Night Watch card that we just saw, you'll see is worth -1 point. But it has a special power, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. Then you have mistletoe cards, which are played face down, as you can see. They're going to be worth 1 point. And then you have this troll card, which you can see is played face down, but is worth -2 points. Now you might be saying, well, why would I ever want to play a troll card if it's worth -2 points? Well, I'll explain why in just a little bit. But anyway, so there you go. Those are all the different types of cards. Mostly you're going to have these daughter cards, right? Alright, so the top 3 cards, you draw those into your hand. And I'm going to put this back down. So, and the top 3 cards I have are a Night Watch card, a daughter card, and a troll card. Now, the troll card's the only one that I'm going to be able to play face down. The Night Watch card has a special power, and I might as well explain that to you right now. When I play a Night Watch card on a location, you have the option, so let's just say we had this daughter card here, and we had that troll card, and there'll be more cards than this played. Just keep in mind, I'm just trying to show you what this could do. When you play your Night Watch card, the Night Watch card is played face up. When you play it face up on a location, you have 2 things you can do. And let me just go ahead, you know, just so I can show you everything. So we can go ahead, let's say this daughter card is there. Alright, so it looks like this. Now, I can, after I place that, I can take another card that I have played, like so, and I can move it to the location that that Night Watch card is played on. So I can move my daughter over to that spot. Mind you, I have to abide by the number of cards that is available. So if I had 6 cards there, I would not have the ability to move the card off. Now, remember, the Night Watch card is the only card that actually has an action when it is played. So keep that in mind. Now, you could, theoretically, you could place this to get, onto a spot as the last card for there, and you'd say, well, why would I do that? I can't move a card to that location. But let's just say this was the 6th card that was played here. I can then use it to take this card, one of the cards, any other card from the player that was on this spot, I can take it and I can move it to another spot. And now, as long as there's room for that. Then, if I was playing that as my first card, my second card, then I could take up the last spot, like so. So, the Night Watch card has those 2 different abilities. But, alright, so that is what those do. But, as you can see, in the very first turn of the game, that's not something that's really going to be very helpful to me. I want to be able to play 2 cards. But, the Troll card is important. When you resolve at the end of a turn, if the Troll card is on a location, it causes all the cards at that location to be discarded from that spot, as long as there isn't mistletoe there guarding against it. Now, I'll explain that when we show how the thing resolves in a little more detail. But I'm going to end up having to play these 2 cards, because basically the Night Watch card isn't really helping right now. So, like, for the first card, like, I could just take, and I could say, well, I'm going to put my daughter, here, in this spot. Maybe I can hopefully get more daughter cards on there. We can get more points, and we can take that spot. But this Troll card, remember, it's played face down. Now, a lot of people would say, well, Troll cards, probably in one of the high number ones, that'd be a pretty obvious spot to go with it, right? Because it's going to get rid of a lot of other cards. And as long as you kind of stay away from that spot, I mean, maybe you put 1 card there or something, just to kind of fool people into thinking that you don't have anything bad going on there. But, obviously, like, if you place it maybe on the 6 here, people might be thinking, well, remember, the Riches card plays face down as well. So you play the Riches card, and that's worth 2 points if you can get it to survive throughout the entire game. And people might think, well, he just put a Riches card there. He's not going to put a Troll there. Maybe I'll load up my point cards there in the same spot, and hopefully then I can kind of, go along with it or whatever. So, that's just, and those are some of the strategies that are going to evolve as you play this game. So, just going forward, let's just draw 3 cards here. Let's see what we hit. So, we got a Riches card for green, we have a Night's Watch, and we have a Daughter. So, we have a situation where, they're probably going to hold on to their Night's Watch card too, whether they have a Daughter and a Riches card. So maybe they're going to go right here to 5 and then place their Daughter. They kind of double down on that location, because you can place 2 cards in the exact same spot. Now, imagine if there had been 3 cards in that spot here at the bar, and they were able to place these last 2 cards. If they were pretty sure they weren't going to run into a Troll in that spot, maybe they put a piece of mistletoe in that spot before, a turn before, they could then, guarantee, hey, my Riches card's going to probably not get discarded because no Troll is in that spot, and they're able to get those points. So that's one of those things too, where being aware of the number of cards that you have available is very important. Now, here we are going to go ahead and draw we have 2 Daughters and a Mistletoe for purple. Remember, Mistletoe is played face down. So we're going to have 2 Daughters. Now maybe, like, the player says, you know what, I'm just going to start loading up one of these 8s here. And I'm going to hold on to this Mistletoe now that I have it, so if I see somebody put something face down there, maybe I'll put my Mistletoe face down there as well to guard it. Now remember, I'm putting these face up to show that they're in the person's hand. Remember that they would be in your hand and they wouldn't see it. And after you play your 2 cards, you do draw 2 cards from the deck so you can kind of plot your turn. So the last one we're going to have, we got 2 Daughters and a Riches card for blue. So maybe we have a situation where they're saying, well, they put a Daughter there. I'm gonna bet, that I'm gonna put my Riches card face down. I'm gonna put my Daughter card there, hoping that green hasn't tried to bluff and like put up a Troll card there that's gonna cause me to discard that. So then that's how this game goes. You place 2 cards, you draw 2 cards, place 2 cards, draw 2 cards, until everybody has played every single one of their cards that is in their hand. At that point, then, you're going to resolve each one of these locations. Now, a couple things that when you resolve, and I'm just going to kind of go over this briefly. When you resolve, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to check and make sure that, like, there are no troll cards in a certain spot. So let me just grab a troll card here. Like, we put this troll card here. So let's maybe Red had placed that troll card in that spot. So we had these 2 daughter cards and these 2 richest cards. Because that troll was placed in that location, it's going to cause all of those cards to be discarded. And so, and obviously, green and blue are not going to be very happy with red that they actually ruined the fact that they had all those points in that location. Now, I should mention, whenever you resolve a spot, when you resolve the spot, what's going to happen is that whoever has the most cards in that, if there is a most, is going to be able to take the location card and keep it. Now remember that, because that is the tiebreaker, and I'll explain how that works in just a moment. So if that troll card was there, then that would cause, you know, that spot to be, you know, obviously it would like, all those cards would be gone and none of those points would work. However, if one of those cards had been a mistletoe card, the mistletoe card would actually keep the troll from doing anything. So that's just fine. Where's a mistletoe? So let's say this purple mistletoe is on there, even though I don't know why purple would put a mistletoe on there, because they don't have any other cards. But if that purple mistletoe is on there, it would prevent the troll from actually causing all the cards to be discarded, and the troll would have to stay in that location, being worth -2 points to red's total. They wouldn't. So then, purple would get a point for the fact that the mistletoe was on there and was worth a point. So you're going to go through each and every one of these locations and resolve it like I just did. Whatever cards aren't discarded are handed back to the players. For every person that is able to, claim one of these location cards, they take those as well. You total up the total number of points of cards that were left on the board after everything was resolved. Whoever has the most points wins. If more than one person is tied for the lead, then whoever took the greatest number, like the greatest value of the location cards at that point, would be the tiebreaker and would win the game. This is a game of thinking and outthinking other players and trying not to outthink yourself. There's been several times when I've convinced myself that the players that I'm playing against were far more clever than they ever actually were. And I've convinced myself to move cards around or place my cards in certain locations, only to find out that no, I should have left my cards where they were, or I should have not have moved, my cards away from a location, if you will. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention: a card that is played face down on a location, even if it's your card, you are not allowed to pick it up and look. And if you can't remember what card you placed in the spot, you can't pick it up and look at it again. So just remember that as well. But so that actually adds another thing where you have to have like a fairly good memory, at least, just trying to remember exactly what was placed by you and in what spot. So, but thankfully, you don't have a large deck of cards and the game is over relatively quickly. So if memory isn't your thing, you don't have to remember a lot. So I found this game to be a heck of a lot of fun. I really, really like the artwork. I love the theme of it. I think it's just kind of like this weird, kind of really gothic anime feel to it, which I really, really enjoyed. But I definitely just enjoyed the ability of outwitting my friends, or just kind of convincing them through table talk or body language or what have you, the idea of which cards were where and what they were doing. But let me talk more about that in my conclusion. Alright, thank you very much for learning how to play Night Clan. As I said, it is a cool little gothic anime, if you will. I also of course I'm going to blank the name of the game, but the fact that there's the name of Daughter over and over again, I kept on thinking about that one first-person shooter that had the weird daughters in it. Of course I can't remember the names of these things ever when I get in front of a camera, but somebody will pipe up and tell me, and that's fine. But and that really has nothing to do with this game whatsoever. But regardless, I just loved the kind of weird, creepy feel that this game had, and I enjoyed the artwork very, very much so. No, but that didn't really matter one way or the other, because these could have just been numbers on cards showing the points, and and like letting me know what the special powers are, and I still would have really enjoyed this. I just, the whole premise of any game where I get to try to outwit somebody, where I get to, like, you know, pretend I'm doing something else when I'm really not doing it, or you know, betting on the you think that I think that you think that I think, yeah, that whole thing, and being able to get somebody to like buy into my bluff, or buy into my bluff that isn't a bluff, if you will. You know, that's, for example, if I place a riches card down on a spot where, like, I'm certain that everybody would say, well, that's where a troll would go. You know, there's a ton of daughters in that spot. Everybody is like fighting over. There's gonna be a ton of points to be gained in that location, and I place a riches card down, and all of a sudden now I've convinced other people either to load the spot up with their mistletoe, meaning that my troll will be safe somewhere else, or I convince people to use night watch cards to like get their cards out of there, you know, and then they end up not scoring them. Things like that really make the game fun, and as you kind of reveal each and every location, and I think this is one of the most fun ways to do it, is like you go one by one, right? You okay, let's flip over all the cards, and as you flip over a card one by one, and you've got like several cards. You've got a riches card there. You've got like 3 daughters cards there, and you're just, you know, but you didn't get a mistletoe on there, and you're like, as they're flipping the cards over one by one, you're like, please no troll, you know. And then you either like have that moment of exhilaration or that moment of cursing at the thing, but that's kind of like what I play games for. I play games for those moments of tension, the moments of excitement, and the moments of like the building of that climax, if you will. And so that's what I really like. And this game's got it in spades. I mean, it's just like any time where the rules can be laid out, bam, here's how you play, we're ready to go 5 minutes later, and now it's just me thinking, and it isn't because I know the rules better than you. It isn't because I played the game 20 times more than you. It's that, you know, I'm just able to like deduce what you're doing, or I'm able to hide what I'm doing better than somebody else at the table. These are the kinds of games that I really, really love. And if you think you'd like it, I mean, if that type of game is something you like as well, definitely, if this would be something you want to check out. This would, if I still worked at my old job at the bank, you know, this would definitely be in my take it to work game bag, you know, because I could have 4 people at a table eating their sandwiches and playing this game in no time whatsoever, and we'd be having a blast, and be able to, like, you know, cut our way out of like the work mind, if you will, and being able to relax and enjoy ourselves for a little bit while before we have to go back up to our desks and have at it again. So yeah, there you go, Night Clan. If you have any questions about how to play, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, I am the Undead Viking, telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.